designing and inventing. I have started to sort out my plan, and even posted about a little in the thread called "Which is the more logical choice?" It's about my struggle mostly. I think I'm on a much clearer path now. Here's my plan. I've been working on an invention for a while. I came up with it about 18 months ago. I took it to a trade show last year, and everyone loved it. I filed for a provisional patent, and recently filed for the patent. I struggled at first, because I thought I had to start a business to make a lot of money. I spent countless hours reading about starting a business. I filed papers with the state, and found out all I could. Read books, and articles on websites, went to workshops, and counseling, all that crap. After all the work, and all the sleepless nights worrying, and all the time wasted talking to other business owners, etc., I ran across MJ's book. I bought it, and read it. I loved it. It changed the way I think about this whole thing. I don't have to manufacture this thing myself. And why would I want to? Why go into work every day, to crack the whip at factory workers to make myself miserable for 70+ hours a week, and a pathetic salary? Sounds like a job. So, I gathered myself, and made a few phone calls I should have made months ago. I was referred to a guy who has recently been through a few licensing agreements in the same industry I'm in. And he has agreed to open a door with a major manufacturer, and get me in to see the executive team, or whoever it will be who makes the decisions on these matters. I spent over 16 months chasing my tail, and watching things fall apart, only to make more progress in 2 days by opening my mind, and thinking a little. I removed the thought of "you have to do it this way," and said to hell with that, I'm making this up as I go. I can do it however it works. So, the plan is this: I'll finish the patent, and file a couple of provisional patents on other things I have come up with. I'll make an appointment with this company, and pursue a licensing agreement. Once an agreement is reached, maybe with this company, maybe not, but it should go well. I'll mention a few of the other ideas vaguely, of course, and the fact that I'll be pursuing patents on them as well, and see what they think. At this point, I'll have to play it by ear, as it could go several ways. I'm sure there are scenarios I can't even imagine at this point. I'm going to concentrate on the first idea, and the licensing for it. And this potent fast lane number 2 innovation, page 246, is one of the specific ways the book mentions as a fast lane approach, or rapid wealth, the interstates. I'm excited, because one deal can be the start of several. And if one is lucrative, 6 or 7 should be downright crazy lucrative. Of course, I'm also a don't count your chickens before they hatch kind of guy. We will see. I'm cautiously optimistic at this point. And I'll post updates and results here. Whatever you do, don't file a provisional patent for your other ideas until you are sure you can absolutely commit to that idea. As you probably know, provisional patents only last for 1 year, then you have to file for the patent. So you would use that year to determine if your idea is doable and actually needs a patent. Not all products may necessarily need a patent. It can be a waste of time and money. It can get very, very expensive. Remember, if you did your homework, you'll know that only 2% of patents are ever actually turned into reality, and only about 1% make it to store shelves. Sometimes patents are not worth it unless it is something completely new and innovative. I've done a ton of research on this and hope you did your homework too. If you want, you can go read my thread, My Path to the Fast Lane. I'm developing a product too, and also have many future products I hope to develop. Read my story and you'll understand why I'm only getting a provisional patent. Good luck, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Oh yeah, one more thing, look into getting your product manufactured in China. You can probably get it for a fraction of the cost that you can in the US. Thank you for the input. I have done research and studied. I've been working on this thing for a while, almost 2 full years. I did get input at the trade show, and by talking to anyone who would be in this particular industry. Retailers, professionals, and of course the magazine guys. It is unique, and innovative, and it fulfills a need. The item gives the user a precious commodity, time, by allowing them to perform a necessary, but time-consuming and tedious task, when it's more convenient. I'm still learning of course, but I've learned so much up to this point. It would take a catastrophic failure to derail me. I started this road like everyone else, with little resolve. Now, my motto is, roadblocks are merely a means to direct me onto a path I didn't notice before. A lot of the people I've encountered to this point are like, what do you mean we can't get a loan for startup costs? I guess we can't do it then, or what do you mean we have to buy 500 pieces? I guess we can't do it then, or my favorite, that's not the way it's supposed to be done, so it's not going to work. As for the production, I'm going to attempt to pass that off to someone else. And for the first time in months, I feel at ease with my direction. I'm not worrying about numbers, profits, costs, margins, or any of the hundreds of details I would need to be looking over, things I have no experience in. I have a tangible plan, one I feel will be not only successful, but profitable. I know I still have a lot to do, and am working on it. I'll make the next direction change whenever it's needed. I'm working with an attorney on the patent, and he is advising me as to when to file for what, and when and where to mention the item. I've learned a few lessons on provisional patents, some the hard way. I look forward to the insight provided by some of the members here on situations I have yet to encounter. Maybe someday, we could exchange war stories. After we both get where we want to go, of course. Well, I have some updates to post. First, I'm in the middle of the patenting of my item. The bad news is, this item was patented in 1984. It has expired, so I won't be able to patent the specific feature I was hoping for. However, the attorney and I think we can patent 2 or 3 other specific features, and still make this thing work. I'll post as soon as I find out. Secondly, I got a phone call today from the guy I was going to deal with previously about producing these items. We talked, and I explained I was worried, especially since he didn't contact me for weeks. Well, excuses aside, he apologized, and sent me pictures of the item, already made. He had one already made for approval. And it looks pretty good. It appears as if we are back on for production. The good news is, I should have one in hand in 2 weeks. Then we can make a few more and go to the trade shows, for pre-orders. The bad news is, I have a lot more headaches coming. I had expected to pass the headaches on to a manufacturer, but that would have left me with the usual 5 to 7% for licensing. Now with this arrangement, it'll be 51%, but I'm responsible for the quality. I'm not going to have to worry about the production side though. He has agreed to handle the financial upfront costs of setting up the machines and the materials and production aspects pending an actual written agreement, which will be started next week, and I will handle the trade show, industry, and sales side. And, I will still work on the other items, and maybe license some of them to the major manufacturer I was going to work with. I have some ideas based on some of my designs that would work on their existing products as well. Just have to file the patents for them first. And this time, I did my searches before getting in the middle of a lot of work. I have 3 or 4 things that are clean, and should be patentable, maybe more. Hopefully I will know more soon. My trade show is in July, but if I miss it, there is a different one in October. After that, it's magazine time. I'll keep the thread updated. I got my parts today, and I must say I'm impressed. The finish is a bit rough, but for the first piece, it's nice. There are a few discrepancies, but he'll have to wait to get to work, where I have some machinist's scales, to see if it's on my end of the dimensions, or if they just missed. But so far, there aren't any major flaws. It's crazy. I'm looking at a piece that I designed, and fussed over, and worked on every little detail for weeks. It was built in another country, and shipped here for my final approval. I can't believe it, but this is going to happen. So, Thursday I go to see the lawyer, and meet another potential investor he said is interested in getting this thing on the market. I have to get the agreements for the arrangement between me and the guy in California written up and settled as well. After that, hopefully I'll get word from the patent lawyer, and I can post a lot more information to make a little more sense of this, if anybody is interested. July is the show, and it's looking like I might just make it. Then I'm going to go one step further for the show in October, and really blow some minds. It's going to be a busy next couple of months. Great job. Speed Plus for taking action. Sounds awesome. Can't wait to hear what happens. Speed Plus Plus. Thanks guys. Updated a meeting with the attorney, and we discussed the partnership. We talked over a few items, and I agreed to send the details to my guy in California for his approval or disapproval. Basically, we are going to start a separate entity that will be incorporated, and use both our original companies to make this happen. So my company will design and engineer the items, and hold the patents and IP. I will license it to this newly founded corporation, in which we are both 50% partners after costs. Then we will contract his manufacturing company to have them made. I am over quality, sales, advertising and anything industry specific. He is over manufacturing, and all the logistics of filling the orders. Personally, I think it'll work great. This way, I have them made, and can hold them to a quality standard under license, which was a concern of mine. I also keep the IP. He is covering, including upfront expenses, the manufacturing, which is the part that worried me more than anything. I can also continue working on my other new ideas, and possibly license them through this company, when I get them further along. If his manufacturing infrastructure doesn't have the capabilities I need for a future project, I can license through someone else, or even possibly help set up the capability in his company, as another investment. And I know he will possibly be getting paid both ways. His cut of the new company, as well as a cut from the manufacturing of the product through his present company contacts. It doesn't bother me, and I think it was one of the reasons he has taken me so serious, when everyone else blew me off. Also, he or his company will be loaning the new company money, to help cover the expenses I have been paying for out of pocket. Trade shows, legal fees, $200 an hour for a lawyer, holy freaking crap, and advertising, etc. So, I can stop running up the credit cards, and borrowing from the bank. The wife will be thrilled. There are a few details we have to work out still, but it looks like we are going to do this thing for sure. I still have more details to discuss with the patent lawyer, and he has asked me to keep quiet till we have paperwork in the mail at least. I should be able to make my show in July, hopefully with a few examples in hand, and the ability to take some orders. I'll keep this updated. Things are moving fast now. Outstanding. Speed Plus. Good luck, you've done the hard work. Speed is for those who are moving and getting their dreams materialized. Thanks for sharing. My friend ran into same situation over his provisionally patented revolutionary product. He could take some tips from you. You're doing a great job. I feel excited for you. This is what happens when you are willing to share and don't just keep all of the profits to yourself. Lol. Not much to report as far as progress. I hate waiting on all this crap. Both lawyers are on vacation. Both. How does that happen? But I got the LLC papers filed before they left. I will be flying to California to meet personally with my business partner, and go over some details in mid-July. should be able to iron out the partnership specifics, and work on getting a few minor issues with the product ironed out. And I ruined the one and only product we had by trying to powder coat it. Evidently powder coat doesn't like cast parts. Oh well, it looks like crap, but it works. I have to miss my July show over this mistake, which is killing me. In the long run it won't actually hurt me though, as there is a bigger show in November. It's also more specific to my market. And before then I'll have 10 new ones to get to the magazines for review of the product, and we should have it in print before the November show. Looks like December this year might be a little busy. On a side note, I will also start a new job in July. I know. Not very fast lane, but I like to hedge my bets. If this thing takes off slower than expected, or not at all, I still have bills to pay, and a family to take care of. Plus, it's just a better job, in a better company, with a lot more future security. Plus I working in a family-owned small business. A few updates. Didn't want anyone to think I had fell by the wayside. This stuff just takes a whole lot longer than I thought it would. We are officially patent pending, and waiting on a final set of updates on the drawings. A little confusion on my part had me thinking I was pending earlier, but I wasn't. I found a few things that need to be changed at the last minute. After we get these, it's in the manufacturer's hands to get me 2 perfect, updated examples for approval. Then it's off to the show. This should happen fingers crossed by November, which is when the trade show is. We have all the papers in, and are waiting for the above to happen, so we can go over the business details. Nothing major. We seem to agree on everything so far. Shouldn't be too much hair splitting, or anything. I expect this to go smooth. I have in my possession 3 examples, which I had to work on a bit to make work. This is where I discovered a few issues. Nothing major, just typical oversights, or missed dimensions. A few design issues, and a few manufacturing issues. I'm glad we are as close as we are. But I'm not giving an inferior product the green light. I'd rather wait a few more months, and spend a little more money, and get it right. Once we get the final patent papers in, with all the updates, and I go to a show, I'll post pictures, and more details. I'm just being cautious at this point. We are protected under US laws, but as a lot of you know, most countries don't respect US patent laws. Some countries might even encourage patent infringement. And of course a patent is never guaranteed. The lawyer assured me that there are several unique features, which should be patentable. But it's also a government thing. We've done the searches, and filed. Now we wait for the letter of denial, and start our arguments. The hardest part for me is the waiting. Holy crap, it drives me crazy. Everything takes way too long. I should already be well on my way. But I'm sitting here, waiting on other people. No one seems to be in a hurry, or even slightly concerned that I have dates to meet. It's one thing I'm going to work on. Taking control of my time, even when it's in the hands of others. What category is your invention in? Houseware, construction, toys? Just curious. I'd rather not say just yet. We are still working out the manufacturing and design bugs, and we aren't ready to hit the market. Nothing personal, but there are people here with the money and connections to grab someone's idea, and run with it. I've worked too hard to let that happen. Keep checking back, and once we are 100% sure we can be ready, I'll reveal everything. Pictures, descriptions, maybe even web links, if that's allowable. Another update. I contacted a local group to do some real-world testing. They can put it through more testing in 2 months than I can in a year. We had found a few discrepancies that had been overlooked when I got the last few sets. So, the design has changed, again. We are beefing it up a lot in a few places, and looking into casting it with better material. Don't want to be selling junk. So, the CAD guy is redoing the drawings, and then we will see how that goes. And, My business partner dropped a huge bombshell. A good one though. He has the means to set up a meeting with one of the largest names in our industry. We aren't sure if the guy will want to be involved, but with an endorsement from him, we would be set. Imagine if you were in real estate. This guy would be Donald Trump. Huge. He has several friends who know the guy personally, and he has met him on a few occasions, and had lunch with him. The guy is known for using his considerable professional or celebrity status and money to invest in startups and side projects. I wish I could reveal his name, but that would reveal everything, so I can't. I guess it can be a teaser to keep people checking back in. So we are still going forward. We just keep finding new obstacles to circumnavigate. We won't make the November show, but if we can get an endorsement from our possible contact, it would help more than any show. And I don't want to attend another show without a perfect product. Things are getting crazy now. That's really awesome, Drummer Dad. I'm also working on an invention and I'm at the beginning stages right now. I have the concept and have done some very amateur drawings of the invention. Since I don't know how to design it, I'm currently looking for designers who can help me make a prototype. As someone who is well knowledgeable in the world of inventions, I'd love the opportunity to pick your brain sometime. Good luck and hope to hear more about your progress. I'd love to help, if I can. I'm no expert, by any stretch. And part of the process is learning. What is working for me, might not work for you. But I can give you a little general advice. Do a patent search first. Go to the US patent website, and do a thorough search. You don't want to spend time and money on something that's already patented. Also look for specific features that could be patented. For instance, if you are working on a standard pencil, make sure the eraser, or one of the main materials used, the general shape, or even the lead ingredients aren't owned by someone else. It should take you a couple of days to do this search. If that comes back clean, then file for a provisional patent. That gives you patent pending status, and buys you a year to actually file. Then it's up to you to figure out a direction. I can tell you, depending on the complexity of what you are doing, a year isn't a lot of time. But before you start talking to anyone about design or drawings, get some legal protection. At least a non-disclosure agreement. By direction, I mean, are you going to pay to have it made yourself, or license it to someone who already has infrastructure in place? It will make a difference. And I think a working model or at least a prototype helps get the point across. But the most important thing is flexibility, and staying focused. You have to adapt, and stay focused in light of a serious lack of interest. Because no one else is going to have the vision and drive you have about this. You will face a lot of complacent people along the way, who couldn't care less if you make it or not. Just brush it off, and keep going. Good luck. Looking forward to seeing the final product, Drummer Dad. By the way, besides the US patent website, I would recommend Google Patent. Google has the entire US patent information, but you'll notice that it's a lot easier doing a search on Google Patent than on the US patent site. Why am I not surprised? Agreed, that's what I use and it's much faster. I'll definitely get an NDA before I meet with some designers as well as do the patent search. I think they also have a patent search on Google now, which will make it a lot easier. The search on the US patent website is a lot more difficult to navigate through. Thanks for your advice, Drummer Dad. Very much appreciated. Awesome thread, Drummer Dad. As soon as you hit market, could you share some details about your invention? Some pics maybe? Equals if I'm guessing it has to do with drummer hardware. How far off am I? Something like a stand or a different kind of pedal, for example. SMX4, I got the drawings updated, and fixed the issues on the design end. Now it's back to the manufacturer. I'm hoping we can get a few new examples by the end of the year. That'll give me time to get ready for the January show. We might have a website up by then also, if so I'll post a link if it's not against the rules. Thanks for all the positive comments. As for questions on what industry, yes it is percussion equipment, but it's not a pedal. I do have a pedal that I'm working on though, among other things. It'll be unlike anything else, but I'm not going to give away anything until I'm close to finished. Take a look at the Demon Drive by Pearl. That's one awesome pedal. Great design, great technology, great product. Maybe it'll give you some ideas. Equals Mike. Not meaning to hijack this thread, but I'm a mechanical designer by trade. Lots of experience in machining, fabrication, and assembly. Some plastics and composites experience. Happy to help a fellow fast learner. A little update: I had a heart-to-heart with my business partner the other day. Nothing bad, but he has been putting our stuff aside, to work on projects that are actually making him money. Not that I blame him, but an agreement is an agreement. So, we aired out a few concerns, and got back to business. I think it will work out fine now. It just goes to show you though, if you don't work your plan, and force it to grow, no one else will. It's in your hands. So, the sand castings we did had some issues, not the least of which was an apparent outgassing from the large pores left in the metal. I couldn't powder coat it, or have it chromed, or anodized either. So, we are looking at investment casting or die casting. This is where I have to solely rely on my partner, as I know nothing about the processes, yet. But he has contacted 5 of the companies he deals with on this, and I am receiving the emails now too, so I can track problems and requests for more information, and as soon as I get my 3D drawings back, and sent out, we should be back on track. So we are back to square 2 or 3 at least. But we have learned a lot about what we can and can't do with this product, so it's not a total loss. It's just money, right? My biggest frustration to date has to be the drawings. I am completely dependent on someone else to make these things, and he isn't very reliable. Also, we discuss what I want done, and I have about a 50% chance of it being that way. The kid, well, he's maybe 25, but acts like a 15-year-old, sometimes just does things his way, and then shortcuts the drawings, leaving out details. And he's always late. He's great with AutoCAD, but it's useless if you ask me. I can't even see my own drawings, or use them. He has to save them as PDFs, which pisses him off because it ruins the quality, and I don't have AutoCAD. I only have a DWG viewer. It's a real pain in the ass. I try and get literature made or stickers, banners, things like that, and I can't. I paid for drawings, and no one else can use them, or even open them. It's just stupid. I hate AutoCAD. Proprietary bullshit. I think I've decided after this trip, I'm just going to have to get some 3D software and learn how to use it. I've been looking at the Alaba Professional, and I really like it. I did the free trial and it works great. Plus the Professional suite does everything. And it's a lot cheaper than AutoCAD, and easier to use. I can even send a file to someone, and they can look at it and even slightly manipulate the file, without having to buy the software for theirself. What a concept. I am going to wait till we start making money on this project first, of course. But I waste a lot of time arguing with the CAD guy, especially when I'm not getting what I want anyway. I've already spent enough money on drawings, and time for that matter, to have bought the Professional suite from Alaba Designs. Other things you learn along the way. We have set a goal of trying to make the January show. But realistically, with the retooling setback, I think it's not going to happen. If not, we will try the show in July. It's driving distance from here, and almost a third of the cost anyway. And there is a lot to do between now and then, with cards, flyers, website stuff, product brochures, press releases, etc. And everything hinges on getting usable samples from the manufacturer for photos and testing. We requested quotes for 1, 5, 10, 50, 100, and 500. Also, this would include 2 or 3 to be submitted for approval first. So we shall see. I hate it when everything is in someone else's hands. SMX4 update. A few things have changed. I got the drawings finally. And I've hired another guy for CAD work. I can't keep waiting for a friend to get around to it. Plus he complains and whines the whole time. Then he shortcuts me. So, I'm not dealing with him anymore. I can't afford to be on his timetable. We sent quotes to a few shops for investment casting and die casting, and didn't get back any usable quotes yet. So, we may be going with the original sand casting shop. There were issues with the item, but overall it was really close. We talked to the company, and they assured us they can fix the issues. So, we asked for 3 new sets, with the current revisions, and issues fixed. We will see what we get in about a month. I'm covered up in emails. My partner has been sending everyone to me, or copying me on the correspondence. Which is good. Not complaining. I like being in the middle. It allows me a little more control. I'm waiting on the new rings so we can get pictures for the website. I already registered the name, and bought the web space. I guess I got ahead of myself, but I needed to register the name anyway. As soon as I get the new rings, I'll get the site up and running. There is no way we will make the January show. I'm pushing for the July show. That should be doable. I just hope we don't have any more setbacks. There's a lot to do between now and then. Sounds great. Keep us posted. Update. It's been a while, and I wish I could say we've made a lot of progress, but unfortunately we haven't. My business partner wants to drag his feet, and it's driving me nuts. I've been at this for almost 2 years. It's time to get it done. Anyway, I have officially filed the patent, since the provisional will expire this year. I should know something in a few months on that. Until then we are just patent pending. I should receive a set of these things this week, with the final changes for approval. After that, I can start the other things I've been waiting on. Product brochures, and cards, a website, maybe a video on YouTube, register for the trade show, whatever we can do to get it out, and ready for the show in July. Rest assured though, I'm learning volumes about what to do and what not to do, and how to sidestep potential obstacles. The next product I produce will be different altogether. I'm at the mercy of other people at this point, which sucks. But I will get this thing done, and move to the next item. As soon as I get the new items, I'll put together a longer post, with pictures, and a description. I'm anxious to go public. I hate this cloak and dagger crap. Drummer Dad, you have a PM update. I know it's been a while since I updated. I've been waiting on the patent office, and the lawyer. And to be honest, I lost my motivation. When every door closes in front of you, it's hard to keep going. Plus 60 hours work weeks, and a sidelined computer make it hard to get anything done. But enough self-pity. Here is where I am now. The deal with the manufacturer went away. He sent me 3 more sets of the item, and they looked like hell. I told him we needed to make them better, and he said that was the best they could do. We agreed to close our agreement, and end the partnership. It was on good terms, thankfully, but it's still dead. I received the patent finally. I'm not going to post the number, but it is patented. So the secrecy is no longer necessary. So, the website to view the item is they aren't for sale yet, because I still can't get a manufacturer that will make small runs. He'll explain later what they are and what they do, if the website isn't clear enough. At this point I'm left with 2 options, as far as I can see. The first is the one I'm currently pursuing. I have a contact who has agreed to mentor me, so to speak. He recently had his invention licensed by Gibraltar, which is a big name in percussion equipment. He is helping me with advice, direction, and possibly a high-level contact. The second option is to pursue investors. I have no clue how to go about this. I had a friend at work suggest Kickstarter. But I don't know if that's a feasible option. I'm thinking to actually make a production run of at least 5,000 units. I'm going to need $250,000. That won't pay for them, I'm sure, but it'll get everything started. As for production, if I can get a few hundred people interested enough to email me and ask for them to be produced, I can take those requests to a large company and use them as leverage. But again, my thinking is I would need in the neighborhood of maybe 3K requests. I'm going to make a YouTube video with a link to the site. And a Facebook page, for what that's worth. Maybe some people will be interested. The invention, I call it the Quick Change Head Assembly. I've tried to find a more clever name, but I can't. How it works, normally, you mount a drum head to the top of the shell, and use the rim and lugs to hold it down and tune it. The problem is when the head busts, you have to take all of those lugs out, typically numbering between 6 to 12 per head. This takes about 30 minutes or more, depending on what tools you use, and how picky you are about the tune. With the QCHA, you can have extra heads already pre-tuned in the topset. The bass ring bolts on in place of the original head, and uses the existing hardware. No modifications are necessary. Then the head gets bolted in the top set, and tuned like normal. You then just pop the top set on, with the pre-tuned head, with a small twist. Sort of like a jelly jar lid. It takes seconds to remove the head, and replace it with another topset. You can have different heads, by tune, color, texture, or by whatever means you wish to differentiate with. It takes seconds, not minutes. Check out the website. It might not make sense when reading it. If you aren't familiar with drums, I'll try and answer any questions. Have you read this book yet? This seems like it could be a licensing goldmine for you. Looks like a legit product. I can easily see that in Guitar Center selling for a premium. Best of luck to you. Amazing product. As a fellow drummer, I know the pains of changing heads or even just setting up a kit. This was one of the reasons I went with a digital kit recently. I agree with Vigilante, and I would push to license this ASAP. Remo, Roland, Evans, or even freaking Guitar Center would go nuts over this. When I get a new acoustic kit, you can count me in as a customer. If you don't mind, I will pass your site along to some fellow drummers and small-time custom drum makers. If you'd rather I wait and not tell anyone just yet, let me know. I'll await your response either way. No, I haven't, but I will. If I could get a license agreement, I could work on one of the other ideas I have. I'm sure I have at least 3 more patentable ideas. What I really would like is a partnership wherein I can license this idea, and work as an R&D for the other items. Once they are worked out, and patented, I license them as well. And everyone can feel free to show it to any friends you feel might be interested. It's protected now. Update: I have been trying to get more quotes, with no success. I have however contacted Ron, my ex-partner who got me the first few heads made in China. We decided to part ways before, on good terms, because he was very busy, and the company he was mediating for couldn't get the quality where I wanted it. We were at about 90%, he even had boxes made for shipping. He was also concerned because I didn't have a patent. I emailed him, and told him I have received the patent, and that I thought we should revisit the idea, and try to cover that last 10%. He said he was out of country for a few days, but he would get in touch when he was stateside again. Might be a good thing. Might be another dead end. We will see. I posted this video on YouTube, and a link on the website. It is nowhere near a professional video, I know. I am not a very tech-savvy person either. I'll work on getting better, when I have time. I also noticed I tend to write, and talk assuming most people know how a standard percussion drum works. After taking the drum into work, and talking with a few people here and there, most people do not understand all that is going on with this quick change drum head. I'll try and clear that up. And I noticed the other day, while browsing the forum, I have been ignoring the speed. I never thought about it, really. I guess I should have read the rules, oops. So I have been cheating people out of speed. Sorry. I'm not usually one for liking anything, or giving thumbs up or anything like that. I'm mostly a troll, who uses the search feature on websites. I have went 9 years on some forums with only 200 posts. I'm not very social. I will work on it. After I resize some of my pictures, I will post them here, and describe in detail why I think the quick change is so revolutionary. I'm going to try and post some pictures with a description. First picture is of the quick change on my snare. It does add a little height, around 1 inch, so technically it will change the sound. But it isn't an issue. Just retune it. If you are really anal about the sound, you can order a shorter shell to compensate. Second picture is without the top set on. It shows the keyway, or locks. These will change a little. They aren't long enough, and I am adding a lock recess in the bottom to help keep the head from twisting off. This also shows the slots used to mount the system in place. This allows me to universally bolt it up. Some manufacturers use a different number of lugs, usually between 6 and 16. This will accept them all. This shot shows the underside of the bass ring. It will be mounted in place of the existing head. It will go on any standard shell. This is a 14-inch model, because that will be the most common. Most snares are 14 inches. I will eventually pick up the other sizes, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 16, and 18. I don't currently see a need to make them for bass drums. If the need arises, we will make them. Things you don't see: the slots allow me to mount the drum without holes being drilled in the shell. This is huge. Everyone I have talked to in the industry says they are painfully aware of the problems created by drilling into the shells. You can also mount other items, such as microphones, and cowbells for example, to the slots. You can have as many top sets as you want. When talking to some studio owners at the NAMM show, they said drummers complain about paying for time in a studio that is spent tuning for the set. Now the studio can have pre-tuned heads on a rack. Pick the one you want, spend 5 seconds installing it and go. The drummer can also bring his heads from his personal studio, or from home, and install them. As long as both shells have a bass ring and are the same diameter, they will fit. There are a few other features, but they won't really mean much to the non-drummers. You can go to my website, and see the video if you want. If you see anything I am missing, or have questions, just ask. Small update: I just got off the phone with Ron, the guy who had the first few made, that were a bit low quality. I told him I had the patent now, which was a concern for him. And I told him I was concerned about quality. Here is what we have decided to do for the time being. He will contact the company that made the first sets, and tell them we need better quality. I will provide new drawings, and work with him or them to make them better. They won't be perfect, but at least they will be. I hope to switch to die casting or forging in the future, but this allows us to gauge the market, and see if I have missed anything the public thinks it should have. My goal is to have 10 to 25 sets for the NAMM show, and maybe the PASIC, with a couple more sets ready to go. Get them out and in the market. Then after a while, make the move to forging, and start the other sizes. I'm a little concerned about quality, and the price. But we will cross those bridges when we get there. At least it appears I am moving forward again. Great post. Very motivational. To see your designs ending at a product must be really something. I also understand your concerns about quality for this product. As a web developer most of the time and being aware about usability etc., I would suggest that you put on your top priorities a better video and also move the video at the top of the page. Also, inspired by as seen on TV products, you could show the regular process and then your process. I am not into drum business and music in general, but I suspect that this product will be of extreme value at live concerts etc. when people have very limited time and want to switch stuff very fast. I am aware that my website is lacking, as is the video. The truth is I hate messing with the computer stuff. I've never been on Facebook or Twitter and I got left behind the technological curve years ago. I have a friend who is interested in getting involved, and he is a lot better at the tech stuff. I have my hands full doing all the engineering and production tasks, checking everything over to make sure it's okay. Plus I have to stay current on the industry aspects as well. I'm thinking of having him handle the tech parts, after I buy a website builder. This is an area that really frustrates me, and I don't mind handing it over to someone else. Plus he is a drummer as well, so he sort of knows the industry, or at least he speaks the same language. Update. I got a few quotes back for the die casting. As expected, the initial cost is very high. The lowest quote is around $115,000 for the tooling, and the first 1,000 pieces. Which is actually good. Another company wanted almost twice that. The tooling is guaranteed for 100,000 units, so the cost per PC is less than $1. And I can sell them for what I need to sell them for, and make a little profit. Here is the problem now: I need about $150,000. That covers all the costs I calculated for the first year, and first 1,000 pieces. All 3 trade shows, advertising, travel expenses. Everything I could imagine would be needed. The good news is, I feel this is finally it. Either I find a way to get this money, or I am done. No avoiding it, no getting around it. This is the final door. I have figured everything else out, and found a way to get around all the other obstacles. Now I begin looking for investors. This is by far the hardest problem I have ever had to work in my life. I am an idea person. I have dozens of ideas for things, new drum parts and improvements on old designs, and aviation tools. The ideas are easy. The designing is easy. Figuring out how to manufacture it affordably, and then getting the money to make them. Holy crap, can you get this design printed with additive manufacturing? Basically a metal 3D printer, you can see it at. It's really simple. I have designs and a few drawings for a different kind of pedal and cymbal stand. I can't go into detail yet. My goal is to really change the drum industry. We are at a place where the talent is being retarded by the equipment. I'm going to try and remove the governor. Have you given Shark Tank a thought? I believe Robert is into playing drums and the guitar. He made Chord Buddy a huge success. I have thought of Shark Tank. Several people have mentioned it. I worry about them taking it serious because the market is smaller than they typically see, and I don't have any proof that the idea will be well received in the market, as in no orders. A few people have suggested pre-orders, but I don't like that idea. Try one of the many crowdfunding websites, search for or ask your friend to help you. Also, do not worry about the money, it will find a way. By that I do not mean to not try to get the funds, instead I mean to say do not agonize over it like I sense you are agonizing over that missing link. While you are expecting that part of the equation to materialize, follow your heart. Be fearless. Do what you can and just keep moving forward. On another issue, if you have designer issues again, let me know. I have one of the best designers out there right now. Thank you. I had considered licensing at one time, and a few people have suggested it lately, so I am revisiting this option. Truthfully, I was not interested in building a manufacturing business. I don't want to go to work every day worrying about keeping up with demand, or finding a way to increase sales. I was only pursuing it because I felt it was just the way I was going to have to do it. I would much rather let someone else worry about that stuff. Let me work on my other ideas, and prototyping, and engineering, and designing. I can work the bugs out, and design a good product. I can build a set that would set the world on fire. I have so many new ideas, it almost hurts. Maybe if someone else worries about the manufacturing side, I can work on the designing side. I think a licensing deal would work. I understand your plight. I will tell you how I came to understand it. I hope it helps you. It has been working for me and I trust it works for you too. Right now, I have a list of over 30 ideas, products which will benefit me, the world and those around me, meaning those I know and those I do not know. One of my greatest struggles has been being monogamous, as is written in the Fast Lane book, and so I have suffered dearly for that after stretching myself too thin. I can put out a badass product as well, and that is where my passion lies, and at first I was yearning and praying like heck that someone would come along who would take over the launching aspect of me and leave me with time to do what I wanted to do. It has been more than 4 years now and no such person has come along. But I have changed and you must also change. It only takes one. That is all you need. One good idea in that will free you up to do all the other things you want to bring to the market. For now, just get a book and note all the ideas as they come along and hold it close to your breast. You will get to do them. But for now just focus on the one thing that the universe has entrusted you with because she knows best. In the process, you will need to change, grow and mature to the level where you can watch over your product like a chicken watches over her eggs until they hatch, except she is more able to do so with multiple eggs than you can right now and bring them all to maturity at the same time. That is where you need to be. That is where the universe is trying to take you, but in the meantime the universe will continue to give you more to do and may not send help until you have learned all you need to do to watch over multiple eggs and bring them all to maturity at the same time. You just have to be wise and not try to do all of them at the same time. If you do, you will not learn a lot of things you would have learned if you tried to focus on just one product. And again, I know you want to do all the things you have in mind, but resist that urge and focus on one for now. I hope this helps you a little bit. Thank you. That is a struggle for me. I stay awake at night working through the mechanical properties and designs of the things I want to make. And when I think I have found someone who shares my vision, who wants to help, it's a joke. Either they end up being in for whatever profit they think they can get, or they just don't get it. Either way, I'm going to keep on keeping on. I'm going to try and pursue a licensing agreement now. And I'm learning how to weed through all the BS that gets thrown around as well. There are a lot of entrepreneurs who want to tell you how it's supposed to be done. And there is usable content in what they say, sometimes. The trick is finding out what they have said that is usable, and discarding the rest. I could have just leave it there, but I got this awesome piece of revelation and just have to share it in reply. You got it. Entrepreneurs are eager to help, those seasoned and those who are just coming up the ladder. You as an entrepreneur, however, who is actually trying to get into the lane have to be mature enough to know how to take and listen to every advice given. You cannot say whatever you want to say when you know they are just talking and are full of crap, and move on as you think best. After all, you are responsible for your vehicle and where it goes. Also, you never know who will actually say something that is the missing link to the connection you are trying to make. That said, you, the mature entrepreneur, must be able to eat the meat and throw away the bone without any hard feelings. I do that every day as I encounter those who proceed to judge me by the car I drive, while not knowing what my product and cash portfolios looks like. I smile and go home and have another wonderful story to share with my wife. You keep moving forward. Build your dream entity, build yourself, and soon you will be who you have dreamed you would become. It is not that easy though, but it is that easy. And feel free to hit me up if you need a kick in the pants or to share a story or two. Wishing you all the best. I love how there are so many good people on this forum always offering their great advice and support. Keep it up guys. Drummer Dad, your situation does sound difficult because of the tooling costs etc. Could you get some samples done with a metal 3D printer? I heard they produce a really strong alloy and are great for small quantities and difficult designs. I don't know about a 3D printer. I only know about the ones that use plastic. At this point, I will wait till the drawings are updated and check on the cost of a lower quality cast plate. Using the 6061 T3511 is expensive, and probably not necessary. When the drawings are complete, I'll check with a few places on the printer method, as well. I had no idea they could do metal. Thank you. Crowdfunding will probably be a great start for you. It's the type of product that has the chance to do very well. PM Andrew NC for his thought on crowdfunding for your product. That's his specialty. Check out this commercial rapid prototype company offering metal 3D printing. Can they produce your product for you in small quantities?